The Astros had a great game today, and I got a question. What can Brown do for you?
Let me tell you what Brown can do for you. Brown can get you 8 swings and misses. He can get you 5 strikeouts and a victory in his first major league start. Think back to 5th grade when Hunter Brown met Justin Verlander in Michigan, his idol. He emulated his pitching stance. He emulated the way he throws the ball after him. Now he's on the same team. He comes up and what does he do to Marcus Semien? Strikes him out. He doesn't even swing at a single ball. He's so mesmerized by the top prospect of the Houston Astros. Made his major league debut, made that Space City uniform look really good. Let's talk about that tonight and more on Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at EricDocStros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
All right, yeah, this was a great game. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this moment all year as Hunter Brown has been excelling at AAA. And how ironic was it that his first start was on a day that Mickey Story and a lot of his teammates that he's been playing with all year, they're able to come watch him make his major league debut. Hunter Brown did a great job, and y'all have done a great job making us your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, keep on subscribing, keep on giving us a big like, and go ahead and listen to us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check out the Locked On Astros podcast and make us your first listen every day. So you have to imagine that this kid has been thinking that he deserves to be up here all year long, especially with him putting up numbers that say he belongs up here. Mickey Story has been saying all year that he has nothing left to prove. And now he came up here and really showed that he had nothing else to prove. I mean, he came up here and dominated the Rangers. I mean, it's the Rangers, but they still have a pretty good lineup. You went out and spent 500 million or whatever it was on that. So
Yeah, you spent 300 and something million on just your middle infield on Seager and Semien was his first strikeout victim. Loved that. He didn't even swing at a single pitch. You know, for him to use, I mean, he used his four seam, his curveball, his slider, and his changeup. And he used his four seam 52% of the time. He induced 4 swings and misses on that, 2 on the curveball, 2 on the slider. That slider, Eric, at 95, 96 miles an hour, the break that the slider had, he was basically unloading all of his arsenal on the Rangers, and the Rangers really couldn't do anything about it. This kid shut out the game, and I was hoping that with only 1 run going into him leaving the game, I was like, please don't make this a game where they tie it. Please don't give this kid the win. He deserves it. He is as advertised. He is what we've talked about all season long. He's what we knew Hunter Brown could be, and this is why I said there's no reason to bring him up to put him in the bullpen. If you bring him up, he's got to be a starter. He's got to play that role because he plays it really, really well. And for his major league debut, Eric, phenomenal job. I want to make one note. Ron, a good friend of the show, sits right there, first row, right behind outfield, sent me a picture of Javier, Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy, and Framber Valdez all coming back from the bullpen. Now, what they do as a tradition, when one of those 4 pitchers is pitching, the other 3 go out and they watch the starter warming up for that day. All 4 of those guys went out for Hunter Brown. They don't do that for JV. They don't do that for Lance McCullers. They did it for Hunter Brown. I thought that was huge. Those little things right there is what I think will take this kid to the next level. He comes in on a great ball team and does great things.
Yeah, and then this kid is the first Astro since to have a quality start in their major league debut since Jared Cosart did it on July 12th, 2013. We all remember Jared Cosart. That was a kid that we thought was going to be the next big thing with the Houston Astros, and he probably could have been, but I don't know what I don't really remember what happened with him. But this guy is Hunter Brown was somebody a lot of people are asking, well, where did Hunter Brown come from? The Astros drafted him in the 5th round of the 2019 MLB draft from Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. He is somebody that the Astros have been highly a lot of Astros fans have been waiting to come up. He's been their number one prospect all year long. And a lot of people probably at the trade deadline have been saying, hey, what about Hunter Brown? How about Hunter Brown? As you said, he's somebody that has idolized Justin Verlander since he was a little kid. And I saw, I think Astros Future did it, or maybe some other people did, and Astros Future tweeted out. But they did a side by side comparison of Verlander and Brown pitching, and it's almost identical. And it's like,
It is. Yeah, his literally everything from the glove to the windup to the leg kick, the delivery, the release, the back leg coming over, the hopping after throwing a strike or throwing a certain pitch. It is Justin Verlander. I believe it was Apollo that put it together. Apollo or
yeah,
Astros
probably.
Future, kind of like a pitching ninja montage. It was phenomenal. I love seeing that. I mean, think about this. I mean, this kid meets Justin Verlander in the 5th grade, gets a picture with him, and is like, I want to be like him one day. And now he's on the same team. And get this, his second start, Eric. Do you know where his second start is going to be?
No.
It's going to be in Detroit. So not only does he get to pitch in front of his entire family, one of the games I was at, I actually got to meet his dad, a nice guy. He's going to get to pitch in front of his college family because he went to Wayne State, not too far from Detroit. So he's going to be able to pitch in front of his old college buddies, people from his college, people from that area are going to know him. So it's going to be like a homecoming type of start for this kid. And what a great primer for this kid going into the postseason. We know he's probably not top 4 on that roster for the playoff spot because we have a wealth of talent, but you give him the taste, you give him that experience. And even if he goes into a bullpen type role, you know he's dependable with the game plan. And Maldonado executed an excellent game plan along with him.
Have they officially announced that he will get another start?
Well, in his next start, if he were to start, if the
Okay.
rotation were to go the way it's going, his next start will be in Detroit if he's still in line to be a starter. So yeah, that's what Blummer and TK were both talking about on the broadcast after the game.
Okay. All right. I was wondering about that because Dusty Baker said after the game, he said on Hunter Brown's debut, boy, that was an outstanding performance, especially in your major league debut. Hard to beat a team 1-0. And so something comes to my mind. Remember last year, who's the guy that came in and pitched 8 2/3 innings and then never hardly ever made a
You're
start
talking about
again?
Kent Emmanuel?
Yeah, Kent Emmanuel. And so it's just like I hope they don't Kent Emmanuel this kid and just put him in the bullpen and something like that. But
Well, no,
yeah, I know
because
he's this
yeah,
different type of prospect. I understand that, but
yeah. He is the real deal.
right.
He will be in the rotation next year. Now, this is what will be interesting. If Verlander comes back next year, you're gonna have you have so many starters. Can we start a 7-man rotation? Is that a thing? You know what I'm saying? This is an amazing, and what is even more amazing about this, and someone mentioned this, I believe it was Mr. Rashad, is that people always talk about how we don't have the highest rated farm system. Well, next year, here are some things that are on the horizon, Eric. Pedro Leon, Corey Julks, guys like that, David Hensley, okay, fighting for positions next year with Myers. Leon and Myers are going to be going after it, and McCormick. They've got a wealth of talent. They may not have the top flight center fielder, but they have guys that have talent and ability in different areas, and there's going to be an all-out war for those outfield positions next year. There's going to be other pitchers that are going to be coming up. Jimmy Endersby is pitching lights out in AAA. And so he is not far behind. I'm not saying he's going to be there at the beginning of the year, but he's another kid that you might see pop up into Minute Maid Park next year if there's injuries, because he is killing it. And you know what they're doing, Eric? I was watching the game, and I caught something that the Houston Astros have had. They've gone 115 games with pitchers pitching 5 innings or more. And I bet you the way they do that, and I'm just guessing, maybe they had a Built Bar. I know I've tried Built Bars. I've tried Built Puffs. They're full. My fridge is full of them. And if you haven't had a Built Puff, you're really depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. Cookie dough chunk puffs have 160 calories. They have a whopping 15 grams of protein in them. And what's great about this protein, it's collagen protein that actually absorbs in your body more efficiently, and it helps your body use it quicker. It's the right kind of protein wrapped in 100% chocolate. So why are you waiting? Why are you getting that over the counter candy bar that isn't good for you when you can get a Built Puff or a Built Bar? So cookie dough chunk puffs are amazing. You might want to get those because they're covered in real cookie dough. Like Built Bars, they're amazing. What's great is they are made for the healthy guy or girl that you know that you are. And so right now, you can get a special promo. Use the promo code LOCKEDON15. That's 15% off your first order. Use the promo code LOCKEDON15 when you go to built.com, cookie dough chunk puff, or anything under the sun they have. Built Bar Kingdom is there to save you money, save you calories, and make you a bigger, stronger person. Go get a Built Bar.
While he may not be Randy Johnson, but what if Randy Johnson like fever hits Houston for Hunter Brown every time he starts? I mean, go get your tickets now. And if you can't get the tickets, go to Simple Seats. So, Brett, tell us a little bit about Simple Seats.
Yeah, so we're talking about downtown Hunter Brown, baby. Downtown Hunter Brown is the man of the hour, and I want to tell you about a deal that is all about downtown Hunter Brown and seeing him pitch. Why would you go anywhere else when it comes to ticket pages to get tickets for a game where they tack on 20% extra fees at the end? Simpleseats.com is the place to go. I've been using them since 2021, and I have never been steered wrong. I have gotten the tickets I wanted efficiently. They get to my email quick. I open up the MLB app, and if I don't want to hassle with picking an individual seat and I find zone seating, I get a discount from that. So boom, you go in there, you pick your seat. It's literally one page. You enter your information. So here's what I want you to do. At the end, I'm going to give you a code that I want you to use to save $10 off your first $50 purchase or more. But it's not just Astros. It's Texans, Dynamo, A&M, UT, U of H, and more teams are on the way. Zone seating specials are the way to go. Don't go to the other ticket brokers. They're going to charge you 20, 30, 40% more. Simple Seats has a simple slogan. Basically, simple seats, better prices, no fees. It's that simple. So here's how you do it. Locked on 10 to save $10 off your first purchase of $50 or more. Locked on 10 to save $10 off on your first purchase of $50 or more. Go there today. You won't go wrong.
Alrighty. I already told you about Jared Kosar. Do you remember the other rookie pitcher who threw at least 6 scoreless innings in their debut? It was back in 2001, Brett. It was a left-handed pitcher.
I do believe it was it Wandy Rodriguez?
No.
Am I close?
Sort of, I guess.
No, I saw it earlier.
Let's just say
I
he hurt himself running into a base.
I don't remember.
Carlos Hernandez.
Carlos Hernandez. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe like the Super Astros people. Carlos Hernandez. Really? That guy even played for the Astros. I didn't know that. My bad.
Yeah, from what my memory, if it's any good anymore, but he ran into he was sliding into a base and he injured his shoulder or something, and that derailed his whole career.
I was like, Moises Alou, wait, he got injured on a treadmill.
So y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what Carlos Hernandez, how he ended his, or not ended his career, but derailed his career. And I'm not sure what happened from there. But that was a kid that had a lot of potential for Houston Astros, and it just didn't. It didn't turn out the way it was supposed to be. But Hunter Brown, sorry, he's showing signs that he could be the next ace for the Astros. And somebody said earlier, so somebody said I was right. So I just
Okay,
remember
good.
that story because I was like, how do you waste your talent like that by just sliding into base?
Well, but
Pitchers
that's
should
when
not be.
now. Well,
Go ahead.
that's when pitchers were hitting. That's when
Yeah.
the Astros were in the National League, and so things have changed. You know what I love tonight? I love the bunt. I love the small ball. I love that Maldonado had a beginning, threw a guy out, had a hand, and get in the RBI. I mean, like Maldonado contributed tonight, and he helped his pitcher win the game. Not only executed an amazing game plan, but it was great. It was great to see Yordan Alvarez get another hit. He got a stand up double. He's been hitting, Eric, the last show we talked about Altuve's torrid run right now, had the pace he's on, along with Bregman. This team, Eric, is really starting to fire on all cylinders. And even though we just won 1-0, this team they do still leave a lot of guys on base, but when they do need to get the job done, they get it done.
Yeah, and I know apparently we have a Yankees fan in here, but let's go and talk a little bit second about the Yankees. They did win, but the Astros still have a pretty good lead over the Yankees right now. But they did win today, so congratulations, Yankees fans! Y'all did win a game, but the Astros still have the better record. They're
Eh.
87-48. The Yankees are 81-54. So I think the Astros will stay ahead of them. The magic number in the AL West is 17 games for the Astros. They have an 11-game lead in the AL West. We were talking earlier about the like somebody joked, well, if you go with the 7-man rotation, you're going to win 120 games. And I really think that, I mean, I don't know if they're going to go with a 7-man rotation, but I still think if you want to keep this, maybe keep the arms fresh, maybe stick to a 6-man rotation for now. I know
Well,
you have a couple of off days. I mean, I think this week you have the off day on Thursday, if I remember correctly. Maybe you skip maybe 6-man rotation for one turn, but Jared Cozart looks like he deserves to stay. But then at the same time, who do you
Jared
kick out?
Cozart.
Sorry, Hunter
I was
Brown.
like,
Hunter
I was
Brown.
like, hold on. I was like,
I'm
Eric,
going
Jared
back in time.
Cozart. He's not. Yeah, yeah. Jared Cozart does not play anymore. Eric. I was like, wait, are we doing a turn back the clock episode?
We're coming back in time. Yeah.
Well, it took me a second to register what you said. I was like,
Yeah.
but here's the
Hunter
thing,
Brown.
and
Yeah.
and I was talking to my friend Mark today on the phone. We were talking about like how all these people, including us, sometimes complain about all these different players. Why are you doing all the lineup changes? Why this guy? Why that guy? All these injuries that have popped up. If you look at what Kevin Cash and what they did in Tampa, I believe 2020 or 2019 or maybe last year, they used like 51 players that
Mm-hmm.
season. 51 players, phantom injuries, all this stuff. Well, we have James Click now, and there is a way to manage this roster and manage this lineup where guys get their reps, they get their rest, and they last all season long versus losing guys like a Byron Buxton who's on the IL again, who like I think the Twins are like 45-20 when he's in there, and they're like 20-25 when he's not in there. Like it's ridiculous how much better they are with him. And the Astros have taken on that model and all these different lineups and all these different players and the David Hensleys and all these guys going up and down. It has allowed the Brandon Belaks coming in the game before. We talked about it on the show last night, how he was able to come in. He gave it like a solo shot to Trout, but he's able to come in and get 4 or 5 innings. Brandon Belak is an unsung hero towards the end of this, season going into the postseason because he saves arms in the bullpen, and these guys go on injury and Jason Castro and all this stuff. It's really kind of what the Rays have done over the years. And I'm telling you, it's masterful and it's chess. And when they get to the playoffs in the postseason, All the other guys, the pretenders, will go to the bottom, and the real contenders will go to the top. So you got to remember this: the Dodgers, although they're the winningest team right now in the National League, the Dodgers have pitching issues. They've lost two of their main pitchers. They have an offense, but they don't have the pitching staff we have. So be warned, American League and National League. The Astros are still the odds-on favorite, I think, in my mind, to take the World Series because of the plethora of talent they had. And did you see before the game that Justin Verlander was throwing on flat ground? He wasn't throwing full motion, but
Right.
he was throwing. So that's a good sign.
I also did see a report this weekend that said that while he is throwing, the recovery time may still be a while. So
Yeah, and
we'll see.
and that's why we got Hunter Brown. That's fine. We've got, oh my God, Eric, we have got such a great pitching
Right.
situation. We are the envy of the baseball world, period.
Even if Justin Verlander misses the ALDS, that's fine. They don't. They might need him for the ALCS. That's something to think about. I mean, if he misses the first round, I think the Astros would be fine. I think they'll need him for the World Series and the ALCS if they get that far. But one thing to kind of think about real quick is if you look at the AL East, none of the teams have been technically eliminated from playoffs. If you look at AL Central, none of the teams have been eliminated from playoffs. If you look at the AL West, Angels have been eliminated, the Rangers have been eliminated, and the A's have been eliminated. So that does speak to the Astros record, but the Astros have played pretty well against teams above 500. Against above 500, they are 39-23. So yes, they are playing good against the teams in the AL West, but they are also playing good against teams above 500. So it's not just a product of where they play baseball; it's also a product of them being a good team.
It is. And what is amazing, even though the Yankees did win and, Aaron Judge is to hit 65 home runs, their lead, Eric, in their division has really shrunk. I mean, they had a 14-game lead at one point. They're literally 5 games above Tampa, 5.5 above Toronto. Now, Baltimore's a lot further back than I thought they would be, but Toronto's like 8 games over 500 or something like that. They're at 526 percentage. But this Yankees team, Eric, if they keep fumbling, if they keep messing around, they could find themselves not in the number 2 spot. They could find themselves in an ALDS or in like a wild card situation. And then that throws off your pitching. And if all they really have is Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, I don't know when he comes back, they don't have much starting pitching. So the Astros, again, are in this amazing, you get the bye, so that buys time for Verlander. In the ALDS, I don't think it's going to be that important that he's there as long as he is there after the ALDS. I really hope that's the case because to have him in there, Eric, would be huge. I mean, we need him in there.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Brett had a great weekend. He had a big turnout. He had a whole bunch of people from Astros Twitter over at Hooters by NASA. You can do the same. Come join us. Brett and I go out there all the time, and just go watch a game. They have all this the game on all the big TVs over there, and I love having the 3 Mile Island with the tender. Sometimes I like the wings. I just kind of whatever feeling I'm in that day. So I love the curly fries. Brett likes the honey chipotle buffalo and fries. What's your favorite? So come see what all the hoot is about at Hooters. So come hang out with the world famous Hooters girls. Anytime Astros plays, you'll hear and see all the action because you love you'll love the wings just like they love the Astros. So whether you're dining in or ordering for carry out or placing delivery order, the best food in Webster can be found here. Ask Rosie why she's worn black socks. She hasn't worn black socks since October 26th of 2005. I have a feeling I know why. So come enjoy happy hour, or should we say happy owl specials, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. So many drink specials. Don't forget about Thursday with drink specials all day. And they always have other stuff going on. And come hang out where the Locked On Astros boys like to hang out. And sometimes we may be there. You might be there and you ask for you say, "Hey, we heard about y'all on Locked On Astros." They'll give you a some fried pickles there. I said it right this time, Brett. And last time somebody did that, we were actually there, and so we actually went over there and said hi to the people. So I-45 South, exit FM 528 for great wings and the best service from the world famous Hooters girls. And come check them out and tell them that Locked On Astros guys sent you by.
Yeah, no, it was a great it was a great event. It was the afternoon game, the 3 o'clock game, and it was the 9-1 victory. Had probably about 12, 13, 14 people there. It was a great time. And so they were asking me, "Hey, are y'all going to do this again?" I said, "Who knows? This is something I just randomly said on Friday. Let's go. We're going to do it." And we did. And we will definitely do another live. And we'll talk about Framber's start here in a second. We will do another live probably during the playoffs, Eric. And we got some other things that we're also kind of working on too. Framber Valdez, Eric, is going to be starting tomorrow night. And he's going for the single season major league record of consecutive starts, is what Todd Callis said last night. And I was confused by that because we talked about that. There is a record of 28 in a row. Is that by Jacob deGrom or
I thought
26?
I thought DeGrom had 24. That's why I was under
Oh,
the understanding.
24. Okay. Well, they said he was going for the major league record tomorrow night, and I didn't know why they said that because I thought he would only be on 23. And that's why I was going to ask you we need to look into that and maybe address it tomorrow night, I guess after the quality start, because that's what he's going to do. Framber Valdez, and I think the important thing is Framber Valdez has really become the ace of this staff. I know Justin Verlander is the leading Cy Young guy, but I think McClanahan going out, I think Justin Verlander on the IL. Someone said, well, that means Dylan Cease is now the favorite for the Cy Young. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Why y'all disrespecting Framber? Framber Valdez has put together one of the best years, one of the top 5 years. And Eric, we talked a while back where we thought that maybe Framber gets some votes. Framber, in my mind, better get some first place votes because he has earned them.
All right, yeah. So there's some confusion. Some people are saying that Jacob deGrom's was like in 2018 he had 24, and then there's also saying that in 2015 and 2016 he had 24 as well, but that was over 2 seasons. And then in 2018 to 2019 he had 26 consecutive, but that was over 2 seasons. So,
So
but
maybe it's a single season. It's in one season, I think, is what they're talking about.
But the Mark Berman tweet from the AT&T Sportsnet the other day had Jacob deGrom in 2018 with 24 consecutive quality starts in a single season
Okay.
in
So
2018.
yeah, because this would be, I believe,
Right.
23 for
Yeah.
so yeah. Here's the deal. And this like baseball, there's so many numbers to keep up with. It is hard to keep up with. And so and that's why I was bringing that up because I was a little thrown off by him saying that. I was like, no, I don't think he's going to set the single season. Now, for a left-hander, he now has the record.
Right.
Maybe he tied the left-handed record. Now he's going to beat that.
No.
But anyways, the bottom line is this, Eric. Framber Valdez is going for number 23 tomorrow night. And I'm so excited because that guy has just been an absolute machine on the mound. He's shoved all season long. I can't wait to see what he does in the postseason.
Okay, I like this. Joseph said, I like records, but I really want to win more.
Well, of course. Well, obviously, but still, this is huge when you're talking about winning a game. When you're talking about Framber being considered for the Cy Young, which I think he should be now. I honestly think like if Framber's not 3 or 4 at the end of the voting, at least like as high as 4, then it's going to be just criminal. And I think he's been better than Garrett Cole this year across the entire season. I mean, you can't make a case for other than Dylan Cease that's really done a better job. Other guys have done good, but not as consistently as Framber Valdez.
Yeah, and that's definitely so. Definitely, I think that Justin Verlander needs a few more innings to reach the qualifications for the Cy Young, and I think that him missing some time will hurt his chances of getting Cy Young votes. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I do want to talk a little bit about the play on Jose Altuve. I know it didn't end up mattering, but he was ruled out. Alvarez popped up to first base, and Jose Altuve tried to score on a pop up to first base, and he basically slid under the tag, and the tag kind of slid by. I don't know if you can't see it basically if
We
you're listening to audio, but it basically he touched the base and it kind of slid by the arm and then touched him after he touched the base, and it showed that basically on replay. And that's what everybody was saying. And if you look at the replay, it basically showed that, but there wasn't really specific evidence for them to overturn that because the rule on the field was that it was out. So they had to have enough evidence to overrule that. But it was pretty obvious that he was safe. But it didn't matter at the end of the day. But if the Astros would have lost this game because of that out, that extra run could have been a big deal. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
no, yeah, it could have been, but something that we haven't talked about that I think everybody was talking about before the game, and I tweeted out about it, and it got quite a conversation going, and I really could care either way. Like I'm not a Bad Bunny fan, but I'm not anti Bad Bunny. I'm not like Bad Bunny is no good or whatever. But the grass in Minute Maid Park looked absolutely terrible. And I'm like, what planning goes into this? When you put all those people on the ground, and someone said, don't you think it's funny that people are allowed on the field during a Bad Bunny concert, but when you take a tour, you're not allowed to step on the grass?
right.
And I'm like, yeah, those few feet on the grass aren't going to do. I mean, it looked like literal holes or squares were missing. And I was like thinking, I really hope someone doesn't pull something or tear something or get injured out here on the grass. This is worse than Towels Hill. This is like Towels Moguls. It was brutal. And there's another like Lady Gaga concert coming around. There's like 2 or 3 concerts before the playoffs even start. I just don't know how they're gonna have to bring in all new grass when the playoff starts, Eric.
Yeah.
So I kind of blame. I said bad for. I was like, that's bad for Bad Bunny, and someone's like, well, Jim Crane paid for it and let him do it, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm not looking to blame someone. I mean, it looked like I thought someone took a picture of the Trop out in Tampa. That's how bad the Trop looks on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I saw somebody on Twitter. I was out in San Marcos and New Braunfels this weekend, and I was just skimming through Twitter, and I saw somebody say, uh, y'all wouldn't believe this. My grandpa thinks I'm at a Bugs Bunny concert because Bad
Hey,
Bunny."
Hey guys, here's the thing. We're at 207 viewers. We love that you're here. We want to ask that even if you can't do it at the end, make sure you hit the like button on this video. We want to see those likes to equal the people watching because we hope that you enjoy what we're doing here. What I enjoyed was Hunter Brown and his control because that's what he was working on. Remember when we talked about him
Right.
in preseason? We talked about that in spring training, and that was his emphasis. I've got to get my pitches under control. And so it was so good to see him get like 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 4 strikeouts, or yeah, he struck out 3 of his first 6 batters. And then I mean, the kid was just, and he settled in, he gave up a hit, he got a guy on third, and he didn't score. He got him to ground out. He produced ground ball outs. He pitched in a high leverage situation. He kept his cool. That was huge. And I remember back, and I'm going to keep mentioning this, when he said, I would rather be doing this at Minute Maid Park. He said, I'm ready. I'm ready when they call me, and I can't wait for that call. And he anticipated this moment, and he's been focused on this moment all year, and it showed true professionalism for the 24-year-old Major League debut Hunter Brown. Welcome to the big leagues.
79 pitches, only 23 balls, 56 strikes.
Wow.
It was on point, and I was on the way back home tonight. I was listening to Jeff Bagwell when he actually walked his first batter, and I think it was Jeff Bagwell in the booth today. But so he was saying, well, that was his moment to kind of shine, and he let the batter walk or something, but then he came back and struck out the next batter. But Hunter Brown is a guy that can dominate. And so I think that this was just him getting his feet wet. I think that he showed the poise of a ace. He showed somebody that's going to be here for many years. How many more starts will he get this year? I don't know. But this is definitely somebody that could potentially help you in the playoffs. I don't know if the Astros would need him in the rotation in the playoffs because they have enough arms, but definitely he is somebody that they can, with his stuff, he was throwing in the upper 90s and he had a great, some breaking stuff. You can definitely put him in the bullpen and he could be a valuable piece in the playoffs. Anything
A
else, Brett?
90 a 95 to 96 mile an hour slider is top notch. This team is top notch. You win 1-0 games with great baseball teams. You get through and fight through chances for the other team to score and not allowing them to score because you have a great team. A great team plays great when their best pitcher is on the IL. A great team is great when no matter who is at the plate, no matter who is on the field, that they continue to perform and they continue to win. That's all I got for tonight. I'm so excited. This was a great win. It was, I mean, a great game. They gave out the rings tonight. You know, all the Space Cowboys were there. Guys, it was good to see you there on camera. Coach Story was there talking about it. And so what a great night for baseball in Houston. Let's go get another one from these South Oklahoma Rangers tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And Framber Valdez is on the mound, and he's been almost guaranteed. So if you're gonna bet, wonder what Bet Online would say about that, and go check him out. And that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Make sure you check us out every day. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure you give us a like, and go ahead and make us your first listen every day on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check us out. Go Astros.